And even with PCOS, being able to manage stress is so important because you're insulin resistant. And so stress can cause more wreak havoc on like your blood sugar and like that system than like eating a cookie or a potato. Like it just like freaks your system out. And I didn't know how to manage my stress very well.
Were you checking your blood sugars to know?
I wasn't, no, but I did like get my labs done and like my, what is it called?
A1C.
A1C was high.
Like really high?
Not really, but it was high. It was higher than it should have been.
Okay.
So like I was definitely like not doing great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a journey, but actually like having somebody like help me and give me the tools and actually educate me on like, hey, we need to watch your blood sugar. You need to get more protein in. And I'm so glad that you're doing strength training. You need to bump that up. Like you don't need to go back to like all these high intense classes.
That's what I was going to say. So we had somebody on the show recently who was talking to us about like all that high intensity stuff with your reproductive system. Like you have to really know where you're at in your cycle. You're not supposed to be doing certain things at certain times. And for you with PCOS, I think you might have been exacerbating
1000%.
it with your heavy workouts.
Yes.
That was my connection.
Yes.
I knew I was going to remember it at some point.
Yeah. And so she was like, the goal is not to go back to that. It's to really lean into your protein intake, to
strengthen isometrics, right?
Yes. Yeah. And so just having that shift was so helpful. And then also her being like, yeah, and you need to learn how to manage your stress a little bit better. So focusing on that part has been big. But another thing that was really interesting, and I still haven't quite gotten to this because I'm not at the place where I'm ready to have children. And like, I didn't want to have another thing to add stress, but like I have a double uterus and I had never been told that until this.
Wait, what is a double uterus? Because we were just talking to a doctor on the show. She was actually Dr. Sarah Reardon. She's the vagina whisperer, talking about like our uterine, what was it called? Our pelvic floors.
Oh, yeah.
And she had never really heard of it, I think, from what I remember. But is it two individual uteruses?
Well, I haven't done the exploratory surgery to kind of figure out exactly what's going on because, yeah, there's some risk in whatever may be there when I'm ready to have children. It looks like they're attached in some way. So it's just like almost split. So she's going to have to figure out like, is one bigger than the other? Can it like hold a baby? Which one's better? It's a whole thing, but just there's been so much going on that I was just like, I need to
one thing at a time.
Put that on a shelf. I don't need to be stressing about that right now. She told me I'm 30 now. She's like, if you're planning on having children somewhat soon, and this was a few years ago, like we don't need to take too extreme of precautions, but by 30, you need to start having some things plan out. If you want to freeze your eggs, if you want to do all the things. But I'm like, okay, I'm getting married this year. I will get right on that right after. But it definitely can complicate things because can the size of the uterus hold a baby? Or is one better than the other? But there have been cases of people having double uteruses and having babies and it being perfectly fine. So it was definitely a shock and just another like, okay, this PCOS also makes it, you have more likeliness to have infertility troubles, and double uterus is not like a good thing
ideal
to have. Yeah. So, we'll get there when we get there, but to have the knowledge of like, hey, this is something that you're going to want to take, care of when you're ready for that time and to not be surprised by it was really helpful. And it took multiple doctors to even get to that.
Yeah. Is having a baby like a dream?
I go back and forth. I definitely think I would love to have a child. I don't want to miss out on that experience. But I haven't been quite ready yet, which I think makes sense. I want to get married first. I want to be able to do that. But it's not like I've never been somebody that's just waiting for that to happen. But I do think I'm going to want to have that experience when it's time.
I feel like it's all going to work out when it's time for you.
I think so too.
I can tell. I have a good feeling, and I think that you are going to be as giddy as I am when you have that moment.
I do too. Even my brother and his wife are about to have their first child, and it's starting to creep up on me that like I am truly excited to be able to be with my niece, and I haven't had that feeling always. I love girls too, though, like baby girls. I feel like all my friends and my brother they're about to have a baby girl, and I just love them. But I'm sure whatever happens, I'll be super happy. But it's starting to come, but I think at the right time. It wouldn't have helped anything if I was like had baby fever when I was 24 and nowhere ready for that. So
true. Well, we have so many different stressors in life now that I think like we have to get ourselves right before we bring life in as much as we can. We're never going to be perfect, but imagine how much better you are now than you were a couple of years ago, having done all of the work. And Dr. Amen has been a guest on the show many, many times. I love him. I'd love to know, like, did you ask your doctor about special forces? Because here's what I see. It is such an incredible amount of stress and trauma that's like when you have a weak inside situation that's just going to exacerbate everything. Because people are like, would you ever do it? I'm like, first of all, I can't be underwater, locked up and bound and all that. I would panic. There's just no way. I'm tough, but that's like a whole other level. And so I'm like, I've got too many things I'm trying to heal from. I'm afraid of what that would do. Were you afraid of what it would do? And did it do anything to you?
Yeah. Surprisingly, Dr. Amen was really supportive of it for me.
Okay.
And I was shocked by that because I was working with him one-on-one for a while. And I had kind of got it into my brain that I was weak. Like, how did all this happen to me? Which I've never really been like that, but I think I was just scared. I was just scared of making things worse. I just didn't feel like myself. And
when you think of all this stuff that happened to me, what is on your list at that point? Is it childhood stuff too? Is it just like the Bachelor stuff? Is it what?
Yeah, it's all of it. Yeah, I hadn't really processed some things that had happened in my childhood. My parents, I love them to death, didn't have the best relationship. We had like significant like trauma in our family when it came to, my aunt and my cousins were brutally murdered, and it was not really talked about. We didn't do anything as a family. Like, that was hard. And relationships, like my first relationships were not healthy relationships. And then going on to The Bachelorette, like that was just a really hard experience for me. There was some really beautiful moments from that. And like, I'm still so grateful for that experience, but because of my naivety of the whole thing, like it was hard.
Wait, but you're blaming yourself again by saying naivete. Wasn't The Bachelorette where you got engaged to the guy who had a girlfriend?
Yes. And that was, okay. Yes.
So how are you naive in this situation? This guy showed up on a show to date you.
Yeah. I think it's the whole process, not just that. Like, that was hard, but I don't even sometimes like, and maybe this is me dissociating, that part doesn't even, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that was hard. But I think this is the whole process of like sharing your life so publicly, like the most vulnerable parts of yourself for like the world to dissect and to like have as entertainment. I had not really like thought that through.
Well, who does?
Exactly. Yeah. And I was genuinely on the show thinking like, maybe I will find love. Like, I was not like, oh, this will be a good opportunity. I was like, okay, this like came to me. I didn't really even watch the show before. So I was just very naive when it came to like what this experience would bring. But for a lot of people, they do they do the thing, they go back to their normal life. And like,
but there are people who have gotten married and stayed together. So it's not naive to think that that's possible.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to keep fixing that for you.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. But just the aftermath of that, I guess, like all the things that were kind of happening was I had gotten into my head that, oh gosh, like I'm powerless, I'm weak. I was just not in a great mental headspace and was slowly having to work out of that. And Dr. Amen thought it'd be a really good idea because he was like, I can sometimes be competitive with myself. And I didn't want to do the show because I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it. And he was like, this is a really good experience for you to listen to your body and decide when you're done. And you can be done the first day, or you can truly take a moment to be like, do I have anything left? Like, would I be disappointed if I left? Is there still a little bit? He was like, I want you to think about that in every moment.
I have chills.
And because he's like, this is going to be great for you. Because if you decide and you listen to your body, like, I'm done, and it's the first day, then great. You didn't push yourself to a place that was unhealthy. And I genuinely feel that that was my experience on Special Forces. I don't have trauma from that show at all. It more made me have a big aha moment of that I've had to kind of work out in therapy of like, I was almost too okay with the situations around me. I felt more at peace in moments on the show than I did in my normal life because I do better in chaos. I do better. Like my body is like, has been stuck in fight or flight. And so my relationship was beautiful. And I had somebody that accepted me for who I was. And, there was more peace, but I didn't know how to live in peace. So I can live more comfortable in my mind in this chaos. And you're seeing all these grown men around you during the show, like breaking down. And not that I didn't, I had my moments of exhaustion, but having a hard time. And I'm kind of like, I'm kind of okay. Like I know how to like break this down of, okay, yes, I'm going to have to be like submerged underwater and that's going to be really hard, but then it's going to be over. Like, so I had a hard time coming back from the show and being like, why did that feel more comfortable than my life? And that's when I started to have like a little bit of a freak out of like, oh, like we've got some work to do here. There's something there, but the whole show did not, like a lot of people I feel like are like, oh, it was great, but it was traumatic. I did not feel that. I felt like it made me realize there are things I need to work on when I get back home, and I'm stronger than I think I am. And so overall, I'm like so glad that I did it because it made me have to do some more like deeper work, and it helped me kind of get over that like, oh, you're helpless. Your body doesn't work. It's always up against you, because it did pull through for me when I needed it to.
Hey, Heal Squad. We have been on quite the journey together, and we're hearing from so many of you just how much this show is helping you heal and get better, and it makes us feel so good. We love, love, love it, and we just ask that you don't keep it to yourself. Spread the message and share the show or your favorite episode with your friends. And if you want to help us even more, you can leave us a 5-star rating and a comment on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and follow us on Instagram at Heal Squad. You can also DM us anytime because we love connecting with you. And finally, you can also join us on Patreon for our monthly live heal events with world-class healers and ad-free episodes exclusive only to Patreon and our Super Heal Squad for as little as $10 a month. So go to patreon.com/Heal Squad to join. Getting better isn't easy, friends, but as I say all the time, it's a whole lot easier if we can do it together. We love you all so much, and we love doing this thing called life with you.
This podcast and all related content published or distributed by or on behalf of Maria Menounos or MariaMenounos.com is for informational purposes only and may include information that is general in nature and that is not specific to you. Any information or opinions expressed or contained herein are not intended to serve as or replace medical advice, nor to diagnose, prescribe, or treat any disease, condition, illness, or injury, and you should consult the healthcare professional of your choice regarding all matters concerning your health, including before beginning any exercise, weight loss, or healthcare program. If you have or suspect you may have a healthcare emergency, please contact a qualified healthcare professional for treatment. Any information or opinions provided by a guest expert or host featured within website or on company's podcast are their own, not those of Maria Menounos or the company. Accordingly, Maria Menounos and the company cannot be responsible for any results or consequences or actions you may take based on information or opinions.